All right, guys. So thanks for being here again. It's our second week for our mastermind group. And Carrie and Courtney and I were thinking that something that would be really great for us to talk about and kind of share all our thoughts on are how to build confidence within our team, like within our coaches on the team, how to help them gain more confidence. So does anybody have anything that they want to start off and share with and say if they've had success doing something, or if they've noticed a pattern of something that's worked within their team or within their coaches, with their new coaches specifically too, that you brought on? And you can unmute yourself or you can type it in.
I have one thing that I think that you may have already like on your list to talk about, but one thing that stood out to me personally as I was getting started was recognition. And I know that's one of the newer vital behaviors, but recognition is that's a big deal. And that really does help boost confidence. Because I know when you, Kathy, would recognize me for certain things, that definitely boosted my confidence, or just making a big deal about even the simplest tasks is really encouraging and helpful. And even though it might sound redundant sometimes us as we do it, it really does make a difference. So that's one of the biggest things for me for boosting confidence, because everybody learns in a different way. Everybody's going to approach things differently than you will, but to help them grow in their business, and they have to do a lot of things on their own, which you all have noticed as well. Like, well, the GTS, Google that shit, doing all that, or so we learn a lot on our own, and so helping them grow by boosting their confidence and recognition, I think, is a big thing.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you, Carrie, for sharing. It's so true. I feel like the more that you can find things to recognize people for, the better that coach does. And I just feel like too, when other people start seeing that recognition that you're giving, they want that recognition too. So it kind of helps. It kind of helps the momentum get going for more than one coach and for your entire team, because it's like a ripple effect, like they start seeing you recognize them for certain things and they're like, wait a minute, I want to be recognized for that. I want to be on that list, or I want to be recognized for doing the right thing here. And then they'll start to mimic those good behaviors that you are recognizing people for. So whatever you're spending your time recognizing your coaches for, they're going to do more of. So even like what Carrie said, like the smallest little thing, it could be anything. It could be their first post they make. It could be, they made their first Shakeology recipe, or they did their first workout, or anything like super, super simple. Sharing a before and after picture. If you have coaches on your team, like share them with the entire team, because that inspires everybody else too. So that's one really good thing.
I have one.
Yeah, go ahead.
I have a couple, I think, because my focus this month is really going to be getting my coaches to hit Success Club, because that's my goal.
Yeah.
So I've done a lot of listening to how to help coaches do that. One thing that I've been doing for the past week or so, I've been trying to get on everybody's page or somebody's page once a day and finding a post that was written really well, that looked good or whatever. Anyway, and then I post it in our team page. Yeah. And I say, hey, check this out. What a great post, whatever. Yeah. So that is one thing that I've been doing, and people have seemed to like that. And then today I did a little video in our team page about getting back to basics. I'm going to say part 2, because I already did one about it. But, and I just talked 4 things. I said your why, the 3 vitals, social media, and then the last thing was coach basics. And I think that people that kind of fall off, or the last month was crazy ass busy for everybody.
Yeah.
Right?
Getting back to school.
Yeah. And I think people kind of fell off a little bit and kind of lost their groove. Yep. Or whatever. Yep. And there's nothing wrong with going through that coach basics again. I mean, yep. So anyway, I encourage them that if they were feeling that way to maybe do that a little bit.
Yeah.
But I'm on a Success Club mission, bitches.
Yeah. Well, that's good because I mean, that's really the goal is you want your coaches hitting Success Club because if they're not hitting Success Club, that means that they're not having success. They're like in terms of building the business, they're not having success. And that can be really discouraging for people.
Yes. And I know one thing, I have one more thing.
Yeah, good. Keep going. This is great.
I did a survey. Kristen did it. And so I got it from her, but I did a survey with my team and asked them some basic questions like, what's your rank goal for the end of the year? What's your financial goal? And every single one that responded, which was only 7, but still,
that's good.
They all said 6-figure.
Well, that's good.
Well, holy shit. So I keep saying, hello, like if that's your goal. Sorry, Jen Kishka's on here like, oh my God, what have I, no. But I mean, if that's your goal, then we've got to really move forward. And so one thing I do want to do with them is that personality test, like that Emerald or that, the GEM test. Has anybody done that?
Yeah, I've done it.
You did? Do you like it?
I did it a long time ago. I mean,
is it worth your time?
It's helped a little bit. I mean, try it. It's helped a lot of coaches. It's kind of good because it does kind of show you what motivates different coaches on your team.
Right.
In terms of like trying to get them to get the ball rolling. Like not everybody wants like gift cards, but like most of my team really needs money. So they want the gift cards, but there's other people who they don't really care about that. They want the more like, they want like the journal, you know what I mean? With like a fancy pen and things like that. So it is good to know. So that way when you're trying to get them motivated, you can, gear your prizes for that person.
It's not necessarily a tool to help them, or a tool to help us reach them better, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Because not everybody's motivated by the same things. Like some people really want recognition. Like they see their name up on that list and they were like, I'm going to be on that list and that spot every month, damn it. But other people are like, I don't want the recognition. Like I don't like that. Like I don't want it. So it is good to hear.
One thing I have two more things. I have 2 more things. So one thing I thought about doing, I listened to a couple of coaches, I can't remember who it was, but I listened to them talk about like when it gets to the 15th of the month, whoever has not hit Success Club yet, stick them in a little group.
Yeah. And so that is a good idea. And you can play around with it. Like honestly, see what works for you. I've tried a bunch of different things. So my goal has always been, I just feel like everybody should give themselves a deadline. Like pick a date in the month. I feel like when you leave it open-ended and you're like, oh, there's 31 days this month, plenty of time, you always end up waiting until the last minute. But if you, like right now, I'm like, crap, I only have 5 more days to make sure I hit SC10. Because that's my goal is to always hit SC10 by the 15th of the month. And if you have that goal, then you're more likely to go like above what you were hoping to hit. So what I've done in the past is I've done a bunch of different things. I used to wait until there was like 10 days left in the month. And I did a Success Club group. And I put everybody in it who didn't hit Success Club. And I don't know. For me personally, it just never worked because no one was doing anything in the group. Like they weren't checking in. It was kind of aggravating me and it was more work for me. So I stopped. I stopped it because I said, you know what, screw it. So then I went to, now I'm not saying this isn't going to work for you. This could work wonderful for your team. So then I tried doing like pods of coaches on the team. And so I would private message. I'd put everybody into different little pods, like in a private message thread. So I did like people who are 1 person away from hitting Success Club, people who are 2 people away, people who needed 3, people who had already helped 3 and should go for 10 or even above. And I'd have like 4 or 5 different threads going to try to keep them accountable and help them like work together. And that worked better, I felt, than the actual group because I feel like people were kind of overwhelmed with like another group to check into, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But honestly, like for me, like, I don't know, I'm at the point where I like doing now, I just feel like the team is so big and I want like as many people to benefit from as possible. So for me personally, I like just trying to post a tip, in the actual team page and whoever is going to use it and apply it, great. If not, oh well.
Yeah.
The people who want it are going to read it and apply it and learn from it. So just try it out and see what works best for you and your team. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and part of me is like, I don't have that many coaches to begin with. So like, it might be more beneficial to me instead of running a group is just to have a message thread like that.
Right.
I do think it was really helpful when some of us posted a little video in the team page. I thought that was cool.
Yeah. We could go back to doing that again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like there's so many different things. You never really know. You know what the bottom line is like you're not going to get to everybody. You're not everybody is going to be motivated. And the ones who really want it are going to do it and make it happen, whether they're in a group, a thread, they see a post on the team page, a video. So just do what's going to be efficient for you. So that makes sure that you can keep moving forward.
Right.
But what Carrie said down here, that's where the internal drive is so important and being able to control the controllable,
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, now what am I going to do?
So, I mean, I don't know. I personally, I really did like the message threads that I had going because people could share in there, this was a message I used, or here's a tip, or they could cheer each other on, in the thread, and then they kind of get a little competitive, which is kind of nice. But I did notice, a pattern with the people on my team. I noticed, the ones who, you know what I mean, the ones who were signing people up. Yeah. They were all participating in their thread. And then by the time I got down to the group where they were at SC0, there was no engagement in the thread at all. So,
I think it was Anita Myron who has a Google Doc pinned at the top of her team page, and everybody adds their name to it every time they sign someone up. So then you're constantly seeing everyone's Success Club points. Yeah. She said, and for some people like me, that is very motivating.
It is when you see it.
I remember when I first started coaching and my picture was up there on our board 3 months in a row and then it wasn't. I was like, what the? Yeah. I don't like that. And some people are driven by that. So she said that really, people are ponying for the top spot all the time.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I feel I really feel like we need to talk about Success Club more on our team page. Well, on my team page anyways. I feel like I was doing that for a very long time. And then I feel like I got to a point where I was like, oh, everybody knows that they're supposed to hit Success Club, but I feel like people are still not making a connection that it has to happen if they want to build a business, Yeah. So I'm going to go back to doing that. So if we want to incorporate that too,
Yep.
I know everyone was like, who the heck is Angela? And then all of a sudden there's all these other people down there. It's what the heck? You just got to play around with it and see what works for you and your team. And just know that you can get creative as possible. The ones who you really, really have to oh my God, they're just not going to make it. Because you have to have that internal drive, like Carrie said. You know what I mean? It's good to have the incentives and be motivating and help them along. But at the end of the day, they have to be the one choosing to be self-disciplined and sit down and actually do the inviting. And if they're not hitting Success Club, they're not inviting, period.
Yes.
It's not happening. Maybe once a month, but I mean, you got to do it every day,
Yeah. Yeah.
So hopefully those tips helped you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Yeah. Did anybody have anything else that they wanted to share? Just hearing all that stuff. Courtney, did you raise your hand? Oh no, she was just rubbing her head. Just thinking. All right. I wrote down a couple of things too. I feel to help new coaches, especially new coaches, gain confidence, I feel the best thing that we can do is encourage them to, number one, make sure that they are 100% committed to a workout program. That's the best way to boost somebody's confidence because if they do that, then they're seeing results. They will truly believe that the programs and products work. So, I feel it makes it better when you reach out. Are you laughing?
I was, but I was sneezing. I need to mute myself. Okay. Sorry. Awful. I'm sorry. Mute me. Mute me.
Okay.
Here I am.
There we go. And I feel if people complete the program, and they're seeing the results and they're feeling awesome, then they have no problem reaching out and inviting people. they had that confidence now within themselves because they're starting to look better, they're starting to feel better, and now they want other people to feel as good as they do. And they know with like a shadow of a doubt that this works. It's kind of like when I first got into this, I hated Shakeology from the past, but I gave it a try again. I did the 21-day fix. It got me to lose 35 pounds. And I was like, oh my God, like this is the best stuff out there. I got to tell everybody about this because this actually works and it's real. It's legit. It's not a quick fix. This is long-term. It's sustainable. You can totally do this. I want other moms to feel the same way I do and actually be excited and to have that energy back again. And so that's why I never felt awkward inviting people. I was just like, whatever. It just never crossed my mind. Just do it. So I feel like getting them to make sure that they're getting results with the programs is like key. So making sure that they're really sticking to it. And then the next one I put was just telling them and encouraging them to just take action. You know what I mean? Everybody comes into this not confident. You have no idea what the heck you're doing. There's so much information being thrown at you. The best thing that you can do is help them start taking action, which is literally you need to invite to our team's next challenge group, period. Your goal is to help 3 people and find 3 people who want to start this next challenge group with the team. Here are some sample scripts you can use. Here are some sample messages from me, from the team. Send them out. I mean, that really does, like the more that you do something, the more confidence that you develop. So if they're nervous to invite, you've got to just help them get over that hump and just do it. Because what's that saying? Inaction breeds, do you know what I'm thinking of? But you know what I'm saying? Like the longer, what is that phrase? Do you know what I'm saying, Carrie or Courtney or somebody?
Inaction breeds fear, action breeds confidence.
Yes, it is. It's so true. The longer you sit and wait to do something, the more that fear builds up inside of you, right? Mm-hmm. So helping them realize that this is a learning is doing business. Like you need to get out there and just do it, but helping them because they don't really know what to say. And I really do spend a lot. I spend a lot of time with my brand new coaches because I want them to have success right out of the gate. And it is overwhelming. And most people who come into this will not just know what to do. They won't, they won't be like that. And I feel like when I first became a coach, I actually feel like I had a lot more success with my new coaches back then because I spent so much time helping them invite and just talking with them back and forth about wording, and they were having success. And then I feel like as time went on, I was like, I kind of didn't do that. I pulled away more because I felt like they should be like me and they should just know what to do and say, but that's not the norm. So I was seeing a drop off with the success rate with my new coaches that I was bringing in. So now that I've gone back to really helping them just get that ball going, once they get the wording down and they get that first person signed up, then they're okay. They can go off on their own. So I don't know. That's just a tip. That's just from my experience. Was that people need more support than you think. Don't assume that they're just going to just take off because that's just not the norm.
So Kathy, with a new coach, like how often are you actually talking to them? Because like I was doing like a one-on-one within a couple of days and then messaging them like every other day or so. But like, I don't know, like how often are you in communication at first?
So when they first get signed up, I check in with them like every other day. Okay. And I'll pretty much just say like, hey, like when the Coach Basics thing was posted on the team page, like I'll send them a message and say, hey, are you all signed up for our Coach Basics that's kicking off on Monday? And then I'll send them a link and a private message again because some people there's too many posts in the page and that's overwhelming for them. They're not used to that, so they miss it. Even if I've tagged them. Sometimes people don't see it. It's weird. So I'll do that. I'll check in with them and say, after I've talked to them, they all want to build a business. From the people that I've talked to, they all want to build a business. So I'll make sure to tell them you need to invite. So 5 people a day, here's the message. And I'll check in and say, hey, how's your inviting going? How many people have you been talking to? What kinds of responses have you been getting? And they'll share that with me. And they'll say, oh, everybody's saying no. Everybody's telling me no. Blah, blah, blah. I've pretty much gone through my whole list, which is a bunch of BS, because then I look at their friends list and see that they have 300 friends. And I mean, on 300 friends, I got myself to like 2-star diamond. So I know that's a bunch of baloney. So then I say, you message all 300 of your friends? None of them want to get started on a health and fitness journey? And they're like, well, no, didn't message all of my friends. Oh, okay. So they'll go back and I'll just make sure you're in the coach basics. You're going to want to make sure you're adding a couple friends every day. So I kind of keep reinforcing them. And then I'll just say to them, make sure, I said, just let me know what people are saying back to you and I can help you respond. Like I really help them with the conversation piece until they kind of figure out, because a lot of them like give this humongous list of things to people when they're talking to them, or if somebody asks about Shakeology, they go and they start listing off every ingredient that's in it and all this other stuff. So I try to help them see that that's really not the best thing to do. I used to do that too at the beginning and give all this information, but the best thing you can do is just tell them what it's done for you so far, share what it's done for other coaches on the team. Just, it's easier for people to see like shorter stuff versus like this long thing with like all the facts, because they can just go to the website and do that. So I'll check in with them a lot. I mean, I'm pretty much on them like hardcore until I see that they've signed up one person at least. And I had a girl, one of my new active coaches this month. She's like, I just want that first person so bad. And I'm like, it's going to happen because you're doing all the right things. Like she was inviting every day. And then sure enough, that next morning, the girl signed up. So you really got to kind of encourage them like a lot and check in. I mean, I check in a lot. That first month, I work really closely with them. And then by the second month, it's kind of like, okay, you can do this.
Well, that's my thing, because I feel like my new coach was doing great last month. She's Emerald, but already I feel like she's falling off. So I don't know. Like I scheduled a one-on-one with her tomorrow.
Oh, good.
I don't want her to disappear already, So I'm like, I don't know at this point.
Yeah, that's good. And just talk about like what her 30-day goals are. What her 30-day goal is for the end of, by the end of the month.
Mm-hmm.
And like ask her specific questions, like, what are your business hours? Like, when are you working? What are you doing during your business time? You'll be surprised. People waste a lot of time. They think they're working, but they're scrolling Facebook like 40 minutes out of the hour.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of extra work, you know what I mean, to do the check-ins, but it's just, I mean, I really want people to succeed with this. And I mean, from what I've seen, I mean, I've only had a couple coaches that have ever come on and just, been able to do it like on their own and go. So the norm is that people need that extra support.
Yeah.
Let me read here. So when I onboard a new coach, do I do a call first, or what's your process? That's not too long. Yeah, no. So as soon as a new coach signs up, I send them over that Getting Started Right as a new coach on Team Forever Strong, and I will let them know. Like, I'm very specific. I'll say to them, I just sent you over an email. It's the Getting Started Right email. Make sure you read the whole thing over. In that email, there's going to be a link for you to schedule our Getting Started Right one-on-one call. So make sure you schedule that as soon as possible, because we want to get on the phone together, and I want to talk about what your goals are so that I can help you start having success and get you moving right out of the gate. So I kind of tell them that. And then if I don't hear from, because you won't hear from some people, I'll say, hey, I haven't got a schedule from you yet. It's really important. I will check in a couple times, but then after that, it's like, I'm not hunting everybody down. So I'll do the call. And then in the call, that's when I'll talk about what their goals are, health and fitness wise, and I'll make sure they're in the challenge group, all that stuff. And then I'll talk about what their goals are in this business. Like, why do they become a coach? What is their purpose for this? Is it hobby? You want to earn a 6-figure income down the road? What exactly is it? And then basically I just keep it simple. After that, I mean, it always is the same thing. It's always Success Club. I talk about it with every single coach, you know, because I don't also want them to be any surprises and have them be like, what the heck? Like, she didn't even mention Success Club. I mean, it's just so basic, 3 people, you know what I mean, a month. So I talk about that and an Emerald coach, and that's it. And then I'll tell them, you know, make sure that you're in the Coach Basics training. Make sure you are engaged in it. You know, that's where I learned everything that there is to know was all from the Coach Basics training I was in. So make sure that you're engaged in it. If there's any questions, ask me, comment, you know, write it in the team page. And that's pretty much it. I don't go in into cycle bonus money or left and right leg or volume or PV or anything like that. It's basically our first goal is to get you to find 3 people who want to do the next challenge with our team on this date, and it'll cover your cost, plus it'll earn you a little bit of money, plus Success Club is the foundation. I do tell them it's the foundation for building a business. You have to hit it every single month. Like, I just say it because it's like, I'm not going to beat around the bush. It's true. Any other successful coach in this business has hit Success Club every month, you know? And the good thing is that you can start. It doesn't matter if like you've been doing this and you're on this call and you've been doing it for however long and you missed 1 month. I mean, you can start the next month, you know, and just make it a priority. So I tell them to like write it down. Like, I will hit Success Club, that kind of stuff. Oh, I mentioned one more thing too. I do mention to schedule in specific business time. And I didn't do this at first when I first became a coach. And I realized that was a big mistake by not telling them that, because they were coming in and they were comparing themselves a lot. Just to myself, other coaches on the team, and they were getting extremely overwhelmed, and they felt like they needed to work on this 24/7. And it was consuming their whole life, and they weren't having like any kind of balance, and they weren't having any structured time. They were just with their face in their phone pretty much on and off all day, and that's just not efficient, you know? So now I tell them, make sure that you look at your schedule and you schedule in business blocks of time. It could be 20 minutes. It could be 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there. You know, if you can sit down and do 1 solid power hour, that's great. But there's a lot of coaches on the team that can't do that. So they break it up. That's okay. And I always tell them, just do what works for you. Do what works for you, and only work when that business time comes up. And when it's over, that's the end of it. Because most people don't sit down every night and work like I do. I mean, people don't do that. So they want to do other things. So they got to be structured with it. So I just make sure to tell them that they do that. Yeah, it is true. I mean, it's like you can phrase it however you want, you know, helping people, Success Club. I mean, I kind of try to say like both things, like help 3 people and hit Success Club. How can I word this, you know? It is. I mean, because it's true too. It's kind of like a fine line where you want people to know about Success Club and know how important it is. But sometimes like people get so wrapped up in just the points that they forget that it's people that they're dealing with. So that's kind of why I changed all my charts around, and it's like the 5 Lives Club, the 3 Lives Club. Because again, when I came on as a coach, I never thought about the points. I just was just like, I want so many people to feel like I do. And it was like a crazy person about it. And the points just kind of happened. But then I noticed that so many people were getting wrapped up in the points. So that's where I kind of realized, okay, not everybody's going to look at it this way. A lot of people are going to look at it and see just points. So that's when we started to change it. Yeah. But I still feel like whatever you want to say, like 3 Lives Club to hit Success Club 5 or 5 Live Club to hit Success Club 10, I feel like I know I need to talk about it more on the team page. That's my goal like this month, you know? That's kind of why I've been like shouting out people every day who have been helping people get started on their health and fitness journey. But I think it's been working. I mean, the momentum on the team has definitely picked up, which is good. let's see. Yeah, I mean, I got away from focusing on it too. I definitely did. So I have discount coaches, and I'm having trouble starting in on asking them if they want to coach. So, I mean, what I usually do is like any discount coach that I have. Actually, well, this is what I do. Any person that I sign up as a discount coach. I mean, I'll usually hold on, my throat. I still am battling this cold, guys. Any coach that I have that signs up, I will come out and ask them like right away. Do you think that you'd ever be interested in possibly doing what I do and becoming a coach on the team to either get your cost of your Shakeology covered so it's free every month, or to even possibly earn just a little bit of a side income? And they'll give me my answer, their answer. And then other than that, I'll just message them, like they'll be in the middle of a challenge group and I'll just come out and I'll just message them and just say to them like, hey, you've been doing awesome. You've been seeing, you have such awesome results. Have you ever considered becoming a coach to try to inspire other people to get started on their journey as well? And I'll kind of phrase it that way. I usually will always ask them, like, are you interested in getting like your stuff for free? But you just got to check in with them. If no one's interested, then maybe not now. I mean, I've had discount coaches come around a year later. And they were really good. When they started, they came out, they were like some of my diamond coaches at the time. Anybody else? Oops. All right. So, I mean, my recommendation is bump up the recognition, like Carrie said. That definitely helps so much. And like I said, I've noticed a shift in the entire team since we've been doing that. Just with everybody participating more, sharing successes, shouting people out, all that stuff is so encouraging. Your coaches see it, they feel the excitement and the energy, and it's fun, and things are so much better, and the team momentum goes so much faster and stronger when people are having fun and they're inspired and they're passionate about it. So when they start to lose like that feeling of it being fun, that's when things can start to die down. So I would definitely up the recognition, make sure that they are in a program and that they're having results, because that really boosts their confidence. I mean, I know it boosted mine, and all of you guys too have success with yours. Encourage them to just take action, like with private messaging people and inviting them. What else? And to just stick with the coach basics. Sorry guys, my voice is like totally shot. Does anybody have anything else that they want to add? No? All right. Just comment real quick in the chat. I'm curious to see what everybody is doing for personal development. Just comment below with what you guys are doing. 6 months to a 6-figure income. Who says you can't? You do. Entrepreneur roller coaster. I love that one. Yeah, I mean, it's funny because if you start reading these things like over again, you get new things out of it each time you read it because you're at a different point in your business, You're a badass. Entrepreneur roller coaster. I'm going to start reading. Where is it? I just took a picture of it. I think it's called 12 Weeks in a Year. And someone on the wall did a video about it and said it was the best book that she's read in 2 years. So I'm like, all right, that's my next book. All right, awesome, guys. Oh yeah, I wanted to tell you too before I let the call go. So our celebrity guest speaker this Thursday night, and I'm going to make a post on the team page right after this call, is Joel Freeman from Coeur de Force. So he's going to be on, and he is pumped to talk to a top 50 team in the network. So make sure you're there. Make sure he's going to be talking a lot about his new program. He's really, really awesome with the calls. So make sure you are there. Make sure that you get your coaches on and your teams, and that everybody shows up a couple minutes before. I'm going to be sending out a big email. So if you get an email, what is that? That is so weird. It's like my phone is ringing through the computer. So make sure you show up 5 minutes before so you can reserve your spot. It's going to be an awesome call. I'm going to be sending out a mass email to everybody and to all the other 1,500 coaches and customers in my downline. So it's going to be a packed call, and it's going to be awesome. So I can't wait for that. And thanks for being here again, guys. And I will see you then Thursday night with Joel Freeman. All right, guys, have a great night.